What's up, and welcome back after a little bit of break. I was thinking, should we call this SPL recap or should we just call this NCP? I I,
Ooh, the No Consolation podcast returns.
I was like, SPL recap kind of sucks as a name. Um, which I mean, the this entire podcast was not intentional whatsoever. I literally just was gonna make a video about something, and then Hamilton decided to hop in, and now it's snowballed into this. Um, but anyway, I say we call it NCP, but we're here. We got the regulars, Hamilton, Colin, and now an actual staple of the podcast, Eric. And we have a
Muted Dave.
newcomer here today, David. David, how does it feel to be on the pod? He might be muted.
He's not here.
I know.
Oh.
No, he is here.
He's
He
about
is
as
here.
about as here as he normally is whenever he joins a call. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. It's been a really long time since our last week of the regular season, so if we don't have a lot of input, that's why. But there were some very consequential and huge games here. We kicked it off with Grant versus Garrett. I'm trying to remember how we predicted here. So I'm pulling that up on the screen. So every single one of us in this series went Garrett in 3, except for one man. I guess now is as good a time as any to crown Eric the golden picker. Eric, how did you get this? Would you call this an upset, Eric?
I don't know if I should call it an upset or not. All I know is I really wanted Garrett to lose
Why is that?
because he 100% was the one that slandered my team the most, and he'll get karma for that.
Yeah, which is a little bit ungrateful, considering. But you saved his season last year. But this was a head-to-head matchup, in order to make the playoffs, and it literally felt like it was an inevitability that Garrett was going to win. He won the first game, I believe, 4-3.
Yeah,
and
4-3.
was coasting into the end of game 2 with a 1-goal lead. And I won't play the audio for this, but there's about 10 seconds left, and Bowser Jr. gets a mega strike, and everyone's like, "Oh man, he needs one. He needs one." Man goes 4 for 5. Pretty much never before.
The
Yep.
first one, and it's 4 straight.
Haven't seen a single one of those in season 2. Last one was Hamilton in season 1, game 1, back when he still had a team that did anything.
Hey now.
But from then it just felt like it was over. I know that these characters can't feel anything, like psychically, but it felt like they were shattered. And honestly, like Grant, I think ended up with a pretty solid season. Colin, what are your prospects for Lemons 2 in the playoffs?
Let me pull up the playoff bracket. Lemons 2, they got a favorable matchup. They drew Fred in the first round. I probably have them as a favorite in the first round to stay in the upper division, and then we'll see what happens when it comes to the second round. But I think they can do some damage.
Little piece of SPL history. Last season, Freddie and Grant played each other in the upper bracket round 1 of playoffs, and I'm pretty sure everyone picked Grant, and that was the upset that jump started Freddie's championship run. So if there was a way for Freddie to get it started, then it'd be that right there. But Grant's team looks really tough. Bowser Jr. is good. Somehow the double Birdos work. And that's about
Fuck the
that.
double burritos.
Is it true that both of those captains also have? Sorry, both of those teams have the same captain as last season when that upset occurred.
Yes.
That's true. Are those our only two legacy captains?
Uh,
Yes, I believe
no,
so.
Jacob has Yoshi.
Ah, yes,
That
that's
is true.
correct.
But next series we jumped into me versus Reed. Another game with pretty huge implications. The further we go down in these games, the less they matter, which is great. But this one was big because winner was almost guaranteed top two. So pretty much playing for your playoff hopes here. And I had very little to no faith in the boys to get it done, but they did manage to win. I was able to beat Reed in 3 games. And I think once again, Eric, no, wait, I was the only person to pick Reed. Never mind. But Hamilton, do I even need to ask the question?
Uh, I don't have an answer this week. I have not talked to Reed in a little bit.
Yeah.
I will shoot him a text tonight to make sure he's squared away for playoffs.
Yep.
But
I should probably submit my lineup.
He's
no, don't do that. That's not important.
he's still alive, but didn't he fall down to the 4 slot?
He is the 4 slot.
So he has to play against Adam as opposed to Freddie, which is a pretty
Different
rough.
Narrowly making playoffs on tiebreakers.
Yeah. he loves to work that one in. But yeah, no, solid series. Where do you guys? I'll pose this to Hamilton. Where do you rank Luigi and DK as captains? Do you buy the high of Luigi that he is as good as a shooting captain is?
I think Luigi is the best non-shooting captain, but I think I would still take Donkey over him, if that makes sense. And I do think that Donkey has had a great year, but I also have questions about how viable that is moving forward. As someone who's also dealt with DK for the entire season, I just feel like he's not consistent.
Yeah, I have a stat about that later for predictions, but
I
think
would
you're right.
like.
Would
I'm
you
pulling up
would you take
something.
Luigi over Yoshi?
I think I would, which is a crazy take. And I don't know that the stats would back me on that, but just
They
a
do not.
personal bias. I think I might take. I mean, also you got to think about where you got to take Yoshi because you got to beat Jacob to Yoshi, and then that also feels criminal.
I have a counter argument. Yoshi ended up finishing the season 3rd in goals per game, only behind PD and Donkey Kong. So obviously I have Donkey Kong. He had a great season, carried his team offensively. Luigi, on the other hand, finished 7th with 1.7 goals per game. And I would say let me pull up the total number he had here.
What's his impact
He
rating,
had
though?
34 goals. And let me find how many goals he scored on Wastelands. 34 goals, 16 of which were on Wastelands.
Unbelievable.
That's insane.
Hey.
I don't know how easy this stat to pull up is, but I feel like he slowed down tremendously as the season went on. Probably
like he
because he
started-
played less Wasteland.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
gonna say I think he started playing teams that were actually paying attention and banning Wastelands.
Which is
Yes.
so freaking weird. Like, why is Luigi good on Wasteland? That makes no sense. I'm very interested to see where he goes in the draft next year because I would agree. I think there is no reason not to choose a shooting captain if you can.
Yeah, I mean, looking at my draft history, I gotta say I think first overall's got to be Peach and then Daisy. But I mean, after that, it's shooting captains for sure.
I'm taking a dry bones first round next year. You bet.
First
Oh,
overall,
God.
baby. He'll come back around. You can double up, and it'll still be good.
Yeah,
What a
we'll,
time.
we'll see what our format is for next year. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna change some things up. We're still not sure how many teams we're gonna have in the league, which will heavily influence it. But it's not gonna be the same league. But next series, Colin versus Danny.
The kid.
Did the kid? Did you?
Did Colin
Did
snipe the 25 goal differential too?
No.
I
Kid
wanna,
ended on a hot streak. Back-to-back wins over playoff teams.
I want to acknowledge. I don't know if I formally said it, but Eric won the Golden Picker for this season for the best pick percentage. He was only here for half of the predictions as opposed to Hamilton. Damn, Eric beat the guarantee.
Yeah.
Scroll down. I can't see
Oh,
Eric's.
sorry. Yeah, but these were our pick percentages across the entire season. And going into the final week, it was feasible for Hamilton to catch Eric, but Eric absolutely destroyed the final week, somehow getting both the Grant and Colin Preds right. That is insane. That if there were any doubts about him and his predictive powers, that seals it. But 70%, 17 for 24 on the season is actually unreal. Eric, what did you see in the Colin team to get this upset win that meant nothing?
I had true faith in Diddy Kong, and I think that Diddy Kong is very much put into a bad spot for no reason. I think he's a decent captain. I'll be honest.
What do you mean by decent captain?
You guys are saying he's as bad as Peach and Daisy. I just simply think that's not the case.
So
Especially if you can bring down someone like Bowser.
by decent you mean not Peach and Daisy.
Yes, obviously.
But you'd say that he's worse than every other captain.
No.
Oh, who's
There are a couple captains I would pick Diddy over.
a couple? You're gonna have to list them now.
The princesses, obviously, Waluigi, Mario.
Did you say Wario or Mario?
Mario.
Okay.
What else is there?
Luigi, Yoshi, DK, Bowser Jr., Wario.
I'd probably pick him over Yoshi, honestly.
You.
I hope I'm ahead of you in the draft
Bro,
next
like-
season.
I was trying to give you respect, man, and say that you knew ball. Like,
Not Colin listing that Yoshi's the top 3 captain in the league just before this.
you think that you would in the draft you would take the did over Yoshi?
Probably.
Yoshi led the highest scoring offense in the entire league.
Oh my god! If you were not the first pick in the draft, you would have gotten last place. Oh,
Actually,
man.
Lemons was the highest scoring offense in the league, but
Colin, I'm trying to remember who you lost to because it must hurt a little bit to go 4-4, get the upset win over Bowser, and have it mean absolutely nothing.
the devastating one is probably the double Birdos hurt. I lost to Garrett, which hurts a bit, and then other than that, like I didn't have any bad losses. I only lost to one team to miss playoffs, which was Garrett. I beat the top 2 team in the other division. I beat a top 2 team in our division, and then I beat 2 top 4 teams. Those are my 4 wins.
And actually, when you played Reed's team and won, he was top 2.
He was
So
top 2.
every single win you had was against, at that time, a top 2 team.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really interesting stuff.
I put a lot of heart into Diddy Kong trying to make him work, and I dare someone next season to try to pull off a 4-4 season with Diddy Kong.
Well, you've inspired someone, so.
Hello.
Oh
Hey,
my-
you remember when we talked about a team of Triple Shy Guy and Diddy Kong being named Chips Ahoy?
They score 3 goals a game. Or
Consider that a
3 goals a
possibility.
week.
I was like 3
No, I
goals a
won't
game
say
is- that's
it's
top tier.
likely, but consider that a possibility.
I did not score 3 goals a game.
Well,
I don't
look
think.
out for Eric in the draft because he can't get number 1 next year. I don't know what our system.
3.2 goals a game. I outscored Austin.
Yeah, you also played on Crystal Canyon a lot.
That's fair. That is fair.
I'm
moving on from
not
this.
saying that you didn't outscore me, but that definitely, as we watched the score just blow up on the screen.
7 goals per game on Crystal Canyon.
Yeah, but crazy pick by Eric. Crazy upset win by Colin. And that was a series wrap for the MFMK. Colin was able to sneak his way out of last place and put Garrett down in the bottom, which feels criminal. What a absolutely ruthless conference. But then we went over to the Spellcasters, where I'm pretty sure none of these games meant anything. Thanks to Freddie's upset win over Eric. Hamilton, this was you playing. I'm honestly so lost at.
No, this is Hamilton.
This is me. I did learn that this went to 3 games, which I was very proud of Daisy for. And I believe that the final game was 2-1. I stated
Yes.
previously that I did not get the chance to watch it live, and I did not get the chance to watch the VOD, so I have no idea how close the 2-1 was. But I'm going to assume it was really close.
Don't remember.
Did
And
you ever think about getting lost in the woods?
I have considered not getting lost in the woods, but frankly, it's just not as much fun. And so, at the end of the day, we've had a great season. We've played 8 series. And, we're looking forward to the next one.
Like
The -31 is a real cherry on top.
Yeah, for anyone just listening at home, Hamilton had 27 goals for, 58 goals against, like significantly worse goal difference than even the worst teams in the league last season in 11 games. Hamilton, when you took the dry bones risk in the draft, did you even think? I didn't even think it was possible in the simulation to actually go this poorly.
No, I really didn't. I figured I'd at least win a couple games. Frankly, I thought I would do well. I knew this. I thought the ceiling was a lot higher than the floor, and boy, was I wrong.
You lose some, you learn some, but it wasn't good. Daisy didn't get it done. Peach didn't get it done.
But we helped the season out. We got Peach her first ever win. Probably her only ever win, looking at how we might move forward. But we got her first win.
Yeah, well, probably her only ever win, regardless of format. But
Tough.
yeah, that this iced top 2 for Jacob, which was big. Because I feel like there was a part in the season where he was like really floundering. I think he actually might have been 2 and 3 at some point. So strong finish for him. Ended up being most in goals for. But unfortunately, the Daisy team could not get it done.
He was 2 and 3,
Yeah, and
then won the last 3 to finish 5 and 3.
yeah, 2 of those losses were to the MFMK, which is not shocking.
And 2 of the wins were Dave and Ham.
Which is also shocking.
Next game we had Fredchester United versus the Flying Dutchman. Pop quiz, Hamilton. Who was the manager of the Flying Dutchman?
Dutchy. I'll give you a hint.
No, it's Adam. God, we're good. We took a week off, then took another week off for just formatting reasons. We've completely lost the game.
Pretty sure. I think this was the game that Adam actually stopped in for. I think this was
Yep.
our once a season sighting. Wow, what a terrible miss by this Koopa. Sorry, that was just
That's terrible.
What a great recovery from Critter. Let's give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, focus on the positives. But this game they just played to who got third and fourth. Um, and Adam ended up he now plays against Luigi, and Freddy plays against Bowser Jr. Um, Eric, do you think it's a net positive that Adam won and now plays against Luigi as opposed to Bowser Jr.?
I'm gonna. What do you mean by net positive?
So I mean, like, if Adam lost this series, he would have ended up playing against Bowser Jr. Instead, he won. He gets to move up the standings, but now he may, in your opinion, is Luigi a harder matchup than Bowser Jr. in the playoffs?
Definitely not. Bowser Jr. is scary, and I'm pretty sure someone has stayed. I'm pretty sure it was you. Something I really want to see is the fact that Bowser Jr. gets managed by someone who is consistently making roster changes. Because Bowser Jr. without any changes is just horrifying.
Yeah, which, I feel like it only gets more important as the playoffs go on. That is going to be a best of 5 map, which I think actually probably is better for the teams that aren't managed because 5 maps end up in the pool regardless. So that'll be interesting. But so you would rather play against Luigi than Bowser Jr.
100%.
Okay.
I agree. If I'm gonna ban Wastelands, I would much rather play Luigi. Otherwise, it's a little more questionable if I'm Adam and might not actually ban Wastelands.
that's true, but that is not good for Reed that he's playing against someone who actually knows what's going on. Because I anticipate that Freddy will ban that.
Well, Reed's playing Adam, isn't he?
Freddy is playing against Grant. Wait, I'm
Do I
so
have my
lost.
Do I have my back? Do I have my bracket?
No,
on?
wait. I'm pulling up the standings. Adam is playing against the mighty Luigi, so you're right. He will likely not know to ban Wasteland.
Yes.
Which is tragic. He probably won't submit a form, so I'm gonna have to wheel his picks. So
we can use his picks from regular season, can't we? Or is it different?
I could use his last selected, which is also his first selected. Final series. I think the only interesting thing in this was that it was a limit test of if Eric's weakness was speed captains. And I believe if he lost, he would have fallen out of the top spot, which would have been interesting, having sat up there the whole season. Eric, were you concerned at any moment with Dave's team?
I honestly, whatever game he won, I think it was this one. Correct?
He won the second game, which was on Lava Pit. So yes, he won this one.
Okay. I don't think I was I was worried because of the fact that he did win one, and it is just proving the point that I am weak to speed characters, which I think I am 100%, and I think this game proves it. But this may realize I'm never touching Lava Pit. I think this is the first or second time I tried Lava Pit, and it went horribly.
Well, thank you for the insight in our playoff matchup.
You are 1 and 2 on the Lava Pit.
I mean, to be fair, you also hate lava.
1-1 on
Yeah,
the
no,
lava pit.
I do not want to come here.
Wait,
I also
what?
submitted my form like days ago, so.
Something's wrong here.
Well, it was about the psychological warfare of that moment, though. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
this
you're
was
1-2 on the lava pit.
the Peach Double Dry Bones team ended up going 1-2 with their only win against Daisy. So not the greatest result of that experiment, but they also didn't get much time, and I don't think that a Toad or a Monty was the ideal third piece. Colin, how many wins in the Spellcasters do you think if they were given a full season of Peach, Double Dry Bones, and Hammer Bro?
2 against Ham,
Rude.
and then they have 7 other weeks. I would say they probably pick up 5 more game wins.
Game wins, not series.
Not series wins, individual game wins. Maybe 6 more game wins. Whether those come consecutively and they turn it into a series, who knows? But
So they probably
5 or
finished. They
6
probably
more
finished
game
with like
wins.
2 or 3 series wins.
Somewhere, yeah. Then they get swept a lot by the actual teams with good captains.
So they're not making playoffs.
No, they're not making playoffs.
Ham, do you think that team would make playoffs?
No. I will 100% stand by that a princess captain. I will conclude that I think the game is sexist. Because while Peach and Daisy have completely different builds, they are still just the worst 2 captains in the league by far. And so I think the game's just sexist against them. It's the only logical thing. And I would not advise drafting either of them if given the opportunity.
Well, if you look at Danny, it bodes well for you next season.
Yeah. Just gotta hope the wheel treats me well, because I don't think I'm gonna win a game in the toilet bowl.
Oh, we got to figure out what the heck our draft format's going to look like. Cause
And you need to remember that I won the toilet bowl as Daisy.
that looks very different if we're doing a 2-tier system versus a 1.
Yeah.
Valid. But yeah, that was week 8. Once again, shout outs to Eric for a golden picker. Shout outs to Ham for going 30 for 48. That's very respectable for a whole season. I sucked in the end. Last couple weeks were not good. Colin did all right, minus like 1 horrible week. And apparently Eric is better than all of us put together. So
By 1 game.
By 1 game. I do not remember enough to do an overperformer underperformer.
Yeah, I don't either. Diddy Kong overperformer, Bowser underperformer, Colin there.
There it is. Done. So for our tier list, instead, we're actually going to look at this Genius Bank ad.
Were we gonna run through All Stars real quick?
Oh yeah, for
Just
sure.
rip them.
Would you like to
All right.
announce the All Star teams?
I can announce the All Star teams. I'll just
Like
go.
an asterisk next to it, though. Dave's Toached being there.
First team for the Spellcasters is Petey Piranha at striker position. We've got Mr. Monty at the top midfield. We've got Drybones 1, which is the one that Ham traded to Dave mid-season for Daisy, coming in at the bottom midfielder. And our defender is going to be Koopa 1 from Come On Mr. Monty. They will be managed by Jacob. On the Mushroom Kingdom side, we've got Donkey Kong as the clear winner in the striker position, along with the Big Nosh coming in at the top midfielder, closely followed by Hammer Bro 1 on Danny. Bottom midfield is Drybones 5 off the Mighty Luigi's, and really tight for defender, but Koopa 2 off of the spread triple option got the nod there, captained by Austin.
which for those paying attention at home, those are the exact same builds. It
Yes,
is
they are.
a power captain, a Monty at top midfield, a Dry Bones at lower midfield, and a Koopa at defense, which is absolutely crazy that even down to the position is the same thing. I am shocked that there were no Hammer Bros in the first team because I feel like the whole season felt like it was kind of like the Hammer Bro renaissance. Um, would you take a Monty over a Hammer Bro, Ham?
No. I think that the Hammer Bros stats aren't going to show up in the stat sheet, and that's what hurts it. I think that he's such a better passer, and that is needed on some of these teams where it's pretty much no passing. And so I personally will still, in my mind, take the Hammer Bro over the Monty. The surprising one to me was 2 Koopas in the first team after they were essentially killed off last season. Made a serious comeback this season.
No, it's absolutely crazy, and it's not even like it's like everything. It's like the eye test, it's statistics. I don't know what was going on, but Koopas were hot this season, especially in defense.
Defensive Coopers were good. I moved mine back there and instantly won 2 games to end the season.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out on the Monty Mall Hammer Bro discussion, I would say as a whole, Hammer Bros had a much better statistical season than Monty Moles. There just happened to be 2 very high-performing Monties and Mr. Monty and the Big Nosh, and the other 3 Monties didn't do anything the entire season.
Sounds about right.
So I think if the Monty is put in a position to succeed on good teams, they can do very well. Versus I feel like, I don't know, I feel like some of the Hammer Bros weren't on as good of a teams and maybe didn't have as much of a chance to thrive.
That's possibly fair. I feel like there kind of is a niche for Monty. And ironically, Jacob and I pretty much have like the exact same builds, even though it doesn't feel like that. He just has a Koopa instead of a Boo. And so that's probably the recipe for getting the best out of your Monty is surround it with good passing. I do want you to also do the second team, Colin, because that's also where things get crazy.
I can do the second team. All right, second team spellcasters. We've got Yoshi up top. We have Boo 2 off of Adam's team. At the top midfielder, we've got Dave's Toad. Did get enough votes to get into the second team. And Eric's Shy Guy. The last one he added playing defense. Almost got first team, but did slide into the second team. Manager is Dave. For the Mushroom Kingdom, we've got Bowser up top. We've got Hammer 1 off of Danny's team. He will be paired with Koopa 4 off of my team in the midfield and locked down by my Dry Bones on defense with me as the manager. So it's just a me and Danny combo team on the Mushroom Kingdom.
Now I'm gonna put this out. The second team in the MFMK that's the best of all these, right? And it's not even close.
I think if they played a tournament, they might win.
And I also want to put out that Colin got absolutely robbed of manager for All Stars. If you voted for me, you trolled. I didn't make a single roster move the entire season. All I did was draft well, and Colin literally manufactured gold out of shit.
I got 3 firsts and a third. You got 5 seconds and a first. Danny picked up 2 firsts, and Garrett picked up a first.
Garrett picked up a first?
Yes.
And I don't mean to sound like that. That sounds bad, me saying that, but he also just got last.
He did get last.
He does work harder than all of us.
He picked up a first. Whoever voted for Garrett didn't vote for a third in the conference either. They voted Garrett first, Grant second, and no other votes. I mean, they put other votes in for other positions, but for that manager position specifically.
We'll do more Preds later, but for the All-Star game that we will actually run, which will be the first team in the Spellcasters versus the first in the MFMK. Who do y'all think is gonna take that win? Between the PD team versus the DK team. We'll go to Eric
Flip a
first.
coin.
PD, obviously, it's no question about my mind.
Ham.
I mean, you gotta trust the Oracle at this point. I'll take PD in 3 if it would ever be run.
I'll take the Mushroom Kingdom. Give me Austin, but Austin on the bench is leading the team over Jaco. Makes the difference.
Yeah, because I can really sway DK versus PD. I'm about to lose to PD twice in one night. Oh God. But yeah, those are the All Stars. We'll be doing some All Star shenanigans before we start the formal playoffs. But it's time for our tier list. So for this week, we're gonna do overall just grading people's seasons. So
I got an important question. Is this people or is this captains?
captains. Well, no, this is managers.
Okay.
So you will be represented by Daisy because that's who you finished off with.
Yes, understandable.
But this is season as a whole, from draft to finish. This is including results, moments,
For the whole team.
just for the franchise.
The franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Do an alphabetical order.
Yep, the usual. So I will kick it off with a placement. I've already given him my props. I'm gonna slide Mr. Colin up into A. I think this is the best 5th place performance you will ever see. Man got rinsed by a brutal conference, and everyone but Eric knows that Diddy is terrible. So I want to give Colin an A performance, and we'll do the same thing as we usually
thank you,
do, where we
sir.
can place everything and then shuffle later. We go to Colin next.
I'm gonna take Daisy, aka the what are you, the Graham Peaches? What? Peaches and Screamers. You can move them down a few levels where you are. Drop them into F. I think starting off, Ham had the 5th overall pick in the draft. I believe some good captains available. Didn't take him, went for the dry bones route, traded the dry bones, lost to his old captain, didn't win a game. I don't think he can go anywhere besides F.
We'll say
So-
Hamilton
God.
has taken this like a champ.
Yes.
Garrett was very upset at the end of the last game when he lost to Grant, just because he was just basically saying that it's all randomness and you have no control. And yes, Grant's team is 5-3 despite him not doing anything, but that also is kind of the beauty of SPL, and you need to lean into it. And I think Hamilton he didn't manage his team well, but he has done that well. So, but yeah,
Oh, how dare you? They've been the happiest campers ever. Are they getting results? No. But they're having a great time. Okay?
Also like to shout out Ham, despite the bad season, was primary stat recorder for the entire season. So good job, Ham.
You're
My
getting
bad
all
on
the
the list.
intangible awards.
You gotta love a coach's award.
Eric, who do you want to place?
I'm gonna place my brother in arms, Jaco, 2nd seed of Spellcasters, and put him in A.
Any thoughts on that?
I think, to begin with, I think he had a decent draft that was not well represented in his first few games because he was getting rinsed a couple times. But as you stated, he did have a nice comeback from like 2-3 to make it to second seed. So I think his team has really come together.
Fair enough. Hamilton, who would you like to place?
I'm gonna put someone in a spot, and I'd like to put Peach, aka David, in D. And I'm aware that that might be a hot take because they might deserve to be an F with me, but I do think there's a substantial difference between the two of us. In the sense that Peach won 2 games this season. Dave managed to get 2 wins. One was against me. Full disclosure. Happens. But I do think that that deserves to be its own category. I don't know that anyone deserves to be in D with Dave, but I do think that he deserves to be above me.
Fair.
Well, if we gave Daisy her own tier below
I'm thinking about
F.
moving her down to unranked and then Peach into F, but it seems a little harsh in my mind. I think that everyone else can fit in the 4 spots above.
For mine, I'm going to take Freddie and I'm going to place him in B.
That's what I was gonna do.
I think Freddie's draft sucked. But slowly over time, he built a respectable team and a respectable season. But I don't think he could ever fully recover from that. He is in the playoffs. He's still alive. He still has a chance to defend his title. But I think he still had DK and possibly Luigi and Mario on the table. And his sidekicks weren't that good at the start of the season.
I do want to give a shout out. I think as a whole there weren't that many roster moves, but I do think Fred was one of maybe only a couple teams that actually improved their team through free agency.
Was he the pioneer of the Koopa
I
Renaissance?
think, let me pull up all of the waiver forms and I will tell you. I think he might have been.
I'm like 99% sure because his team was so bad. But
Yes. Eric dropped Koopa in the first. Freddie was the first to add a Koopa.
definitely deserves some
And then
props
me
for
and
that.
yeah. Then me and Garrett added one 2 weeks later.
Probably deserves to be an A, but it's getting crowded up there. Colin, who would you like to
I
place?
think B's fine considering he had the 2 peaches in the conference to give himself a little, or the 2 princesses to give himself a little buffer. I would like to take Mario, aka Garrett's team, and I would like to slide them into C. I think draft went well. I didn't really like the Koopa addition that he made mid-season, which he then dropped or tried to drop the Koopa later, but I don't think he was successful. I don't know. I think the team was better earlier on with the Boo. I think Koopa as a whole is good. It just didn't fit with what he was trying to do, and then the team kind of collapsed towards the end and finished last in the conference.
I think that's fair. Eric,
I'm gonna go ahead and select. I'll grab Danny, and I'll put Danny in B.
is in
I'm
here.
sorry.
Because Danny drafted a pretty solid team, but I also don't think Danny ever switched out members.
No,
I'm correct.
no.
He just kind of stuck with the team, and he didn't make any picks to like experiment, especially when he had his placement solidified in playoffs. I just think he's in B.
Yeah, I also don't think he has that much momentum going into playoffs. But yeah, he's still like
Danny didn't. Oh, he did switch up positions once.
Hamilton, who would you like to place?
It's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna pick Luigi, and then we're just gonna have 4 like power hitters at the back half of this in my mind. I'm gonna pick Luigi, which is Reed. I'm gonna be incredibly biased, and I'm gonna throw him all the way up in A. And I'm gonna do that because Reed had no information from the previous season about how good anyone was. He drafted a team that, in my opinion, was a decent team coming, like, from what we knew. His draft information was pretty good. And he managed to make playoffs, which is more than 4 of us can say. And I think that he's had some pretty good games. He's had some pretty bad weeks, but like just all things considered, I think that he has had a season that anyone who is new to SPL would be happy to have, even if they get bounced in the first round, which is not a guarantee.
Yeah, I think that's all valid. I'm gonna put Grant in C. Should he go in B?
I would almost say B. He made a good trade, I think.
So the one
But and 4-4.
I'm gonna put him in C because Adam's the one that made the trade.
Adam is the one that made the trade.
One thing that Grant did well this entire season is in his draft form, he selected Bowser Jr. as his number 1 captain pick. And then, he didn't screw up his form selection that bad, apparently, because it rode him all the way to playoffs. So I'm going to put Grant in C. Colin?
I really don't want to do this. Throw the plant to the top.
Go!
I don't like that triple shy guy is where he is. But the kid's 6-2, coming in hot. I don't think I predicted it, but I could see him just running playoffs. I don't know. It'll come down to some map picks and things, but he could have had a much better draft. But he made it work, and the team's doing well, so I can't really argue too much.
Really, it's just he's getting the props for winning the toilet bowl. Eric?
Thank you, Daisy. The toilet bowl.
Eric, who would you like to place?
I'll go ahead and place Wario into B. Kind of for a similar reason of you placing Bowser Jr. in C. Very similar to Bowser Jr.'s path, with the exception of the fact that he made a trade.
Yeah, that is valid. Well, Hamilton, you don't get to pick who you want to rank.
There's only one place where this should go because PD is not an undisputed S. So put him in the top, please. And I want to say that you should go above Eric, but I don't know that I have any justification to say one way or another.
Let's place it there, and then let's tinker here, because I think this is fine, but there are some things I'd like to do. I think if we're an S, then Colin also deserves to be an S.
I didn't make playoffs. I don't think I can be an S and not be have not made playoffs.
I agree that Colin did a lot of really good things this season, made a lot of good moves, but I do not think that Colin can be in the highest tier. I disagree that you guys have come down. I'm going to reiterate that.
I have just realized something. Fun bonus fact that is not my fact of the week. the last 4 captains selected in the draft were the 4 captains that didn't make the playoffs.
Love that stat.
That would be Peach, Daisy, Mario, and Diddy in that reverse order.
Okay, I know where Eric stands. Would you guys take Diddy? Who would you take, the Did or Mario?
I think I'd
The
take
objective
Mario.
choice is probably Mario. Which I knew when I took Diddy. I just thought it would be fun to try to make Diddy work.
Hamilton?
I do think Mario is as someone who's just suffered through a princess week or a princess season. I would really struggle to grab the Did. I think I would much rather grab Mario.
Yeah, I stand by that as well. Okay. Does anyone? It seems like y'all are pretty happy with where people are in tiers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of shifts within, I would definitely want to move Garrett above Bowser Jr.
I think
or
Danny
not.
should be above Fred.
So
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I know he didn't do anything, but he won the conference
it's probably
in
a good shout for
in a
Danny
tough
for Danny
conference.
for Danny being in B.
Yeah, you mean A?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate a Danny up to A.
Let's see how that looks. Anyone have any oppositions to that?
You could also move everyone down one, and then free up a tier. I don't know if there's a true divide in A, but there might be.
I don't think we need 7 tiers.
It looks prettier though.
I don't hate that. It's probably not necessary, but Eric, do you want to keep it like this, or you want to go back to the way it was?
Appreciate you.
Don't even name garbage. Don't even name it garbage. Just name it Daisy tier.
Garbo. I like garbage.
Daisy would honestly make me feel better. Make me feel like it's not my fault.
Garbage.
I can agree to this.
It's not even Daisy tier though, because it was Ham's team. Ham had 2 different captains.
All valid points, Colin, that did not need to be discussed.
It's okay. All right, here is Hamilton tier.
Okay. Okay. Eric, I hope you end up with a princess next season.
And anyone else have anything else that they'd like to shift?
Toss. No, I'm not. Never mind. I don't agree with it anymore.
Okay. Well, I think this is fine. I think this is pretty fair. Give some credit to some people who did some good stuff. And yeah, well, that officially closes the book on the regular season and also closes the book for some people's SPL season 2. But that means that it is playoff times.
Before playoffs and our predictions, it is time for Colin's stat of the week.
Oh boy. Everyone's favorite.
As we get into, as the first round is entirely interconference, took a quick look at some, one trend across the conferences. As a whole, we know that the Mushroom Kingdom scored more goals, 396 to 325 goals. But if you look at Mega Strike goals, the Spellcasters actually scored more Mega Strike goals with 25% of all spellcaster goals coming from the Mega Strike, with Mushroom Kingdom being sub 15%. So big discrepancy in play styles there.
I would asterisk that with 2 captains that could only score via Mega Strike.
Arguably 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's a difference in play style. I wasn't, it's the captains they have. Just look for maybe the spellcasters to be really gunning for the Mega Strike goals while Mushroom Kingdom scores through open play.
That's interesting and reflects I guess so they were it just reflects the quantity of speed captains. That's all. I was gonna try and go between like the amount because there are 2 shooting captains in spellcasters.
Well, it's not even the princesses that do this. It's the fact that Yoshi scored 21 Mega Strike goals,
And
PD had 16, and Waluigi had 17. Those are the top 3 in the league.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Daisy had 5. Peach only had 2.
Bowser wasn't top 3 in the league.
Bowser was 4th with 14. Wario picked up 11. He literally
scored, I'm pretty sure, over half of his Mega Strikes in his series against me. Oh Lord! But let's get into these games because speaking of Mega Strike games, we have a very Mega Strike heavy series to kick things off. We have Danny with Bowser at spread triple option and Jacob with Yoshi at Come On Mr. Monty. And I'm realizing I need to make columns for this. While I'm doing that, let's go down let's go down alphabetically, starting not with me. Colin, who do you have in this matchup?
Should I go by my bracket or what I think?
What you
in my bracket, I picked Jaco to win this, but I think I'm gonna go Danny in this group bracket.
You're going with Dan. Do you have any reasoning for that?
No.
Cool.
If you look at my bracket, you'll understand.
Eric, who do you have?
Mentioned this in the Discord chat. I'm going to state it now. The spellcasters, this is where we stand up to all the slander we have gotten. All you MFMK chumps. Getting paid Jaco in 3.
How many games you saying, Colin?
I'll do 3.
Look at that.
And what you got?
I'm gonna flip a coin. If you want me to do my own pick and a coin, I'm willing to. But the coin has picked Jacob. And there's some lore to the coin if you don't remember, and the fact that the coin I think went almost perfect last playoffs. So
how many games is the coin saying?
It doesn't. Oh, here, let me. Is there a D3?
No. There is.
We can flip a coin though, because there's really only 2 options.
Yeah.
We gotta open a different coin though. We'll do heads is 2, tails is 3. 3.
Incredible stuff. I'm gonna go Dan in 2.
The self-deprecation begins.
And guess what that means? We get to flip
another
coin.
Coins.
Oh wait. Heads is nope.
Heads is top.
Heads is home. Tails is away. Heads is 2. Tails is 3.
Okay.
Gotta do different coins though.
Yeah. So heads is Danny. Tails is Jacob.
Yeah.
Let's freaking go.
I don't think the coin needs a 2 or 3. It's just for who we're putting forward.
Lame.
No, I disagree.
All right,
Flip
heads is
that
2,
sucker
tails is
again.
3. Wow.
Three.
Go in the distance. All right, that takes us to our next matchup, which is a podcast derby. We have Eric versus me. We'll go to the people not involved in it first. Colin, who do you have?
Just give me the freaking plant.
How many?
3.
Hamilton?
I'm not proud of what the coin has produced here, but I know better than to stray away. Give me the gooses in 2.
I said I had a little stat earlier about my team. Does anyone want to guess what my record is against non-shooting captains?
Oofer.
You've won at least one of them. Undefeated?
I am 5-0 against non-shooting captains. Does
Oh,
anyone want to
versus
guess
shooting
what my record is against shooting captains?
So 3.
The math isn't that hard. It will be in 3 though.
Austin, I need you to stop this self-deprecation right now.
Gotta start early.
Austin, I'm just saying, he's weak to speed captains. If you need Diddy for a week,
Trade out the Collins. I mean,
Austin, you're gonna get rinsed. Me in 2.
the guarantee. I don't like.
I was gonna say, do we want to keep doing a coin just to see where that goes? But we already have that, so we'll just save the coin.
It's just ham.
Sorry, I was uncertain if the coin would be invoked, and so I had to make sure that it had its say.
This is gonna be so confusing because Colin's name looks like coin.
I've misspelled my name many times as coin. It's really hard writing 5 letters.
Yeah.
All right.
Like to give you the freaking lemons.
You didn't even let me set the table. I was gonna say this is such an interesting matchup because this is the huge upset from last playoffs. These two teams could not be in a different spot going into here. How many games do you think it takes the Lemons to win?
4.
Yeah, this is best of 5, which is interesting.
Oh fuck! Then the coin doesn't work.
Just flip the coin. Flip the coin 5 times and see how many times it takes.
If it's best of 5, 2 is also not an option.
No, so what you do is heads is Grant, tails is Freddie. You flip the coin 5 times and you use that to pick your series. So if it's heads, then Grant wins game 1. And
is
then you
the
do it for
upper?
game 2.
Time out. Is the upper also best of 5? No, best
No.
of 2. Okay, now I understand. My apologies.
Yeah, so
this game theoretically has a lot more stakes.
We'll just Hamilton, I'll go to you. We're just gonna build the series score slowly. So who wins game 1?
Game 1 was Lemons. Game 2 was Fred. Flipping.
And who is lemons?
Grant.
What?
Damn it, Austin.
Game 3 is Lemons. Game 4 is Fred.
Okay.
Game 5.
Podcast listeners, you are witnessing history right now.
Game 5 is Lemons.
Sounds like you're going with heads, tails, heads, tails, heads.
I want you to know that I am flipping 2 separate coins. So one coin went heads, 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 and the other coin went tails, tails.
That was the single stupidest 30 seconds of my entire life.
Don't worry, we're doing it again.
Oh my god.
Holy.
Eric, who are you taking?
Give me Fred in 3.
Fred in 3. If he wasn't
That's
the best
really
predictor in the
sweet.
entire league, I'd say he's
hold
crazy.
on. It's best of 5. Hold on. Best of 5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fred 3.
You said Fred 3?
Yes.
He said, let me clarify that I know what I'm talking about before I state this heinous claim.
If it were best of 3, I think I'd take Freddie, but since it's best of 4, I take best of 5, I take Grant. All right. Last game. Wow, this one is going to be a hype playoff matchup. We got Adam versus Reed. The tensions are going to be high in the Discord call as we watch a playoff game with no managers involved. Colin, who you got?
Best of 5. Freaking Reed in 3 to hopefully get it over as fast as possible.
Eric.
Adam in 4.
Hamilton, can I make a request before we do this?
I've already done it. If you would,
You have 5 separate coins
Spellcasters
open?
are rinsing you guys.
I didn't do it with 5 separate coins, but I did flip all the coins already, so I can't really vary at this point.
Okay. What do
I'm
you got?
sorry. I got Reed in 4. Went Reed, Adam, Reed. Makes you feel any better.
I'm going to go Adam in 5 just so we can go to another coin.
I got you. We're opening them all up now.
I was going to do it on my screen, but the audio experience is better. So you have 5 tabs of coins open?
5 tabs of coins open. We're gonna hit flip on each one, and then we're gonna go see what we land on. Flipping the 5th one now. First one, the Mighty Luigi. Second one, the Mighty Luigi. Third one, the Flying Dutchman.
Reverse sweep?
4th one, the Mighty Luigi. 5th one did say the Flying Dutchman, but it was the 5th one, so it does not count. I would also clarify that is the exact same order that my coin went.
The coin is sentient.
The coin's like, I know what you're doing. Let me confirm, but we got this. We're not wrong.
Oh damn. Okay. I guess we can do the second half of predictions next week. We don't have to predict the entire thing right now.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's run it though. It's more fun to do it all because then the coin could be right the entire way through.
I kind of like that, to be honest. All right. Let's roll on then to matchups that may not happen. So from there, we're gonna bring lemons.
Are we doing the whole bracket? Or sorry, I wasn't listening.
We're doing the whole bracket.
We're doing the whole thing and then
they don't
coming
come
back.
down. I don't think they don't come down.
Oh, true.
The losers come down.
Yep.
Yeah, what a bunch of losers.
Losers.
Back
Well,
to BO3s.
to BO3s. Colin, who do you have in Come On Mr. Monty versus Lemons 2?
Give me the Monties. In let's say 2. Why not?
Fair. Eric?
Jake on 2.
This is why I love the coin.
Grand 2?
Lemons in 3.
Oh.
Jacob gets game 2.
Do I push it to another coin? Jacob's a good playoff manager. I'll give it to him. Last year he went way deeper than anyone thought he would. And I like the idea of Grant getting bounced out early. All right, rematch best of 3, run it back. Week 8, now in the playoffs. Big Zeet versus Mighty Luigi. Colin, what you got?
Well, that's not a shooting captain. So Big ZD and 2.
Eric.
Give me. I'll do Big to ZD in 5. Or no, wait a minute. Math. This is best of 3. This is best of 3. You shut your mouth. Mighty Luigi in 2.
What is wrong with you?
He had you reverse sweeping. That's all.
True. I guess, yeah. If I don't get it done, in 3, it's over. Okay, so I don't win game 1.
I'm flipping the coin 4 and 5 to see what they say. They disagree. Austin in 2.
Oh wow.
Will he force it to a yet another coin?
He will. I got it.
Tactical.
I got to get ahead of the game in my defecation. It's gone heads. Damn it.
You only flipping it once?
Oh,
I flipped
shit.
3.
Oh, did you already flip 3?
I flipped 3 for my pred. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, let me open up a new tab.
Yeah, it's got to be fresh.
Yep. Okay. So tails.
Ooh.
Tails.
Reverse sweep.
Painful. Mighty
Coins
Luigi.
disagree.
All right, so that brings them into a head-to-head. This is not working.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
I can't see what you're doing, but I believe in you.
That's what I was doing.
Look at these Excel skills.
Never seen anything like this before. The government will hire me.
Probably.
All right. We'll do upper round first. So spread triple option versus Goose Crusade.
Flip those coins.
Colin, what you got?
We are gonna go with fire's super effective against grass types. Go with Danny.
Love the logic. Austin, you missed by a row.
It's close enough.
Fair enough.
How
many did you take off?
In 3.
Eric?
Me in 2.
That's not. Is that what he said?
No.
I couldn't hear him. I heard E in 2, and then I realized afterwards that he might be saying me.
Coin is my favorite thing in the world. Danny in 2. Can you for good measure actually just change his name to Damie?
To Danny?
No, to Damie.
For good luck?
No, not Danny. Not Danny. Damie. Give me an M.
What? Like this?
Yeah, 1 M. There you go. It's 2 N's. Really close together.
Whatever the hell that just was.
Important.
We'll go Dan in 3.
No second coin. Tragic.
No, not me. Eric in 2.
Oh.
Give me the coin, Sam.
Heads.
You just picking to get the coin.
Tails. Danny in 2.
How is the coin so consistent? That's freaking crazy. What? I'm sending it to the coin every time now.
Unless we don't let you.
True. Colin, Mr.
Go
Monty
left.
versus Mighty Luigi. This would put Jacob
Take-
back in the
not
top
the
four.
green off.
That means Yoshi's gonna be put off his colors.
As long as Yoshi, as long as Jacob bans Wastelands, which would I think be an absolute blowout, I'm gonna go with Mr. Monty.
That would be the single worst decision in SPL history.
In 2.
Eric,
Give me Draco in 2.
She gets to say. Reed in 3.
ooh.
Mm.
All right, rerunning him.
Flipping. God, I love coins. Tails. Tails. Heads. Coin says Reed in 2.
It lies.
It knows the vibe. And it did give Jacob the third game. It just is where the third game landed
That puts Reed
in the finals.
in top 3.
Oh, yes.
Not there quite yet. But tough next matchup against Eric. Colin, what you got?
The Eric in 4.
PD going back to the chip. Eric, I think I know where you're going.
I'll take myself in 5.
Ooh. I'm really excited to see what the coin does here.
You should be. Reed in 3.
All right, rerunning him.
I would clarify that the final score of that was 4-1 on 5 flips. All right, we got a heads, and a tails, and a heads. Another 4-1, but in the opposite way, which would be Eric in 3.
I do not think that Reed's winning that series.
I don't either. I don't think Reed's making it this far. Way before this. But the coin doesn't lie.
What a great podcast. All right. Well, the grand finals that I think everyone saw coming. In this one, Danny does get a double map ban.
But there is no bracket reset, correct?
No bracket reset. And the double map ban is less of an advantage this year because we do not have 2 of the same map in the pool.
Hold on, I'm pulling up a double dice roller to decide this. All right. Game 1, Eric takes 6-5. Game 2 is a tie. Game 3, Eric takes 6-3. That was game 2. Danny, game 5 overtime. Danny wins game 5 in overtime. 6-3.
He wins in overtime 6-3.
Yeah. The triple mega strike to win it.
I'll take myself in 5.
I'm just going to say that if the coin does what it says it's supposed to do, we're in for a hell of a playoff series. This is a reverse sweep, Eric in 5.
Oh my god. That would be
Let's
such
go!
a banger grand finals. It was a shame because I think last year, like, our grand finals, it was like one of our least watched games. I think it was just Freddie, David, Colin, and me. I'm pretty sure. And it was such a freaking banger. I really hope that our grand finals like lives up to that, like at least even a little bit, because the likelihood of things going to 5 is pretty low. But if this is the grand finals we get, I think it will be close. Hamilton, give me one final. Let's let's coin toss, and then Colin roll dice to decide the score.
Okay. I've got winners.
Okay. So who wins game 1?
Game 1 is Danny.
Colin, what's the
Uh,
score?
What have I done? 6-4. Keep in mind this can't roll zeros.
Game 2 is Danny.
6-5. Banger series.
You're gonna like this next one. Game 3 is Eric.
Reverse sweep.
6-2.
Game 3, or Game 4, Eric.
4-3.
Game 5, Danny.
Oh.
2-1.
What a lame way to end the season.
We should just stream coin flips.
Absolutely. Coin flips and dice rolls, baby.
Well, that's it. That is guaranteed what's to happen in the SPL playoffs from your expert analysts. Thank you to anyone who's still listening out there. Thank you to David for coming on the pod for the first time.
Loved you having you here, Dave.
Anyone have any final words of wisdoms as we hop into playoffs tomorrow?
Spellcaster full rinse MFMK.
We'll see. We'll have to track the final record after all is said and done. But preseason didn't look good. On that note, peace.